And you're very welcome to Parnell Park for the second day of a massive weekend in the go-ahead Senior 1 Football Championship. Of course, it's quarter-finals time. Two quarter-finals played yesterday, and congratulations again to Crokes and to Ballyboden, who came out victorious against Ballymun and Castleknock. But today, our attention turns to two huge Southside and Northside derbies. And first up, it's the battle between Cuala and St. Jude's. And we're going to go to team news, and we're going to start out with the men from Dalkey, the men in red and white, and that is Cuala. And we start off in goals. It'll be Ryan Scollard, and wearing the number 3 jersey, Mick Fitzsimons. What a player he's been for Cuala and for Dublin over the years, and he'll be looking to shore up that full back line here this afternoon, you can be sure of it. In midfield, Peadar O'Cuffig-Byrne, someone else with plenty of inter-county experience. He'll be hoping to impose himself on Murphy and Lahif in midfield for Judes. And then into the forward line, wearing the orange boots today, wearing the number 11 jersey, Con O'Callaghan. Again, expecting plenty of fireworks from the centre half forward from Cuala this afternoon. Keep an eye on Cal Dorn. He scored a goal in the last game. And in particular, keep an eye on O'Callaghan by 2 points in the last outing against Thomas Davis for Niall, and 6 points for Con. I'll be expecting something similar here today. Move on so for the lads from St. Jude's, and again plenty of inter-county experience here, both in Dublin colours and indeed in Sligo colours out there this afternoon. Start off in goals, Brendan Flynn in goals, and then he'll be looking to Hassett Fitzpatrick and Sean Kerwin as his full back line to keep a close eye on the danger men from Cuala. McCartan, Manning and Lahif in that half back line, and then Murphy and Tom Lahif at midfield. Murphy, who won an All-Ireland way back when under Pat Gilroy's tutelage, and Tom Lahif, who's no stranger to the Dublin setup either. Then into the forward line again. People to keep an eye on this afternoon. Sean Kerwin scored a goal the last day, but then you look at the likes of Dara Rooney, number 11 on his back this afternoon. Cuala will know they just cannot afford to give him any space, and in particular any frees. He was so deadly last day out against Whitehall, scoring 8 from place balls, and again he'll be hoping for a similar return this afternoon. Again, inter-county experience from the likes of Pat Spillane wearing the number 13 jersey, and of course Kevin McMenamin. Great look backs this week, last week or two, looking back on Dub's victories over the last 10 or so years and how prevalent and visible Kevin McMenamin was to so many of those great days in Croke Park. Here this afternoon with me is former Ballantyre St. John's and Dublin player Coleman Goggins. Coleman, I suppose two huge rivalries both on the south side and on the north side, but we'll start with the south side derby first. Cuala and Judes, what's your read of it?
Yeah, interesting fixture, I suppose, for this afternoon. Yeah, Jude's up front, when you look at that inside line, you were just speaking about it there, Spillane, McMenamin and Liam Connerton. 7 goals they've scored in the championship so far compared to 2 on the Cuala side. So there's a goal threat there that maybe Cuala don't have. That gives them a huge opportunity. One of the, not a criticism, one of the problems maybe Judes have had in getting over the lines is a lack of scoring power up front. Kevin McMenamin has certainly been brilliant for them over the years. They've been in 3 county finals since 2009, haven't managed to get over the line, but maybe with the power they have up front, it might allow them to do that. Cuala on the flip side of that, maybe, yes, they have some household names, but maybe they're more collected in terms of what they do from a defensive point of view. They're fairly rigid in terms of their structure. They don't concede a huge amount. 3 goals, 34 points is all they've left in on the other side of the field. So they now have a challenge. How do they shore up against that inside line? But how do they get enough ball into their inside line that allows them to really challenge that Jude's full back line? You
and I were here a couple of weekends ago working with TG Carr, and we were here for the Ballantyre game and the Ballymun, but all the talk that day was the Cuala win against Thomas Davis. Nobody really saw that coming, and then Cuala managed to get the win, and then on the head-to-head they managed to make it through to the quarter-finals. So they've been steadily building, and here's the opportunity now to, as you said, Judes haven't won a county title, but they've been thereabouts over the last couple of years, and if Cuala could do it, it'd be a real statement of intent.
100%. Judes certainly have the history or the pedigree, I suppose, where they've been to. Cuala haven't managed to reach that stage, but Cuala have been so consistent. Judes got to a county final where they lost to Crokes, I think it was. Missed the qualifying to come out of the groups the following year, and now they're where they are this year in the quarter-final. Nafina lost a county final last year, failed to get out of the group. So you can see the pressure losing the county final. So Cuala can look to this and say, look, can we put a few questions here? Might just get into their heads again and see if we can get a result. And if they did, you're right, it will be a huge statement of intent from the Dalkey guys.
Well, last few words there now from both teams and both setups. Our referee this afternoon is Ian Howley. And his whistle is blown there, and he's looking for both teams to go into their positions. Again, it's a lovely day. There's plenty of talk of all sorts of weather conditions coming our way, but so far so good here in Donnycarney as I look to my left towards Donnycarney Church, and the clouds are definitely building, Coleman, but so far so good. It's, you couldn't ask for a better day.
Very
really.
warm. It's about
very
20
muggy,
degrees there coming in, so very warm. So, ground is probably has a slippy surface on top, but certainly no rain at the moment. It is warm, no real breeze to be concerned with, so hopefully a chance for both teams to really go after this.
Looks like pretty orthodox so in midfield. 8 takes on 9, 9 takes on 8. All four shaking hands, and the rest of the players just making their way into positions now. Again, any wind that is maybe here so far this afternoon is possibly favouring Cuala. And it's the first win of the afternoon for O'Cuffig Byrne, who lays it off to Peter Duffy. And Duffy is now happy enough to play this one back towards his right half-back, Niall James. Nice early possession there for Owen Kennedy, centre half-back for Cuala. And again, Peter Duffy, very prominent early on. And they'll just play it back and recycle possession as St. Jude's put in place a formidable wall of navy and blue as Killian Dunn works his way forward. It should still work out though, and there's an opportunity maybe outright for Dunn. And instead it's Judes who come away with it, and 3-4 Judes players in around the Cuala man there to dispossess him. And David Sheehy back there now. Murphy trying to pick it up, loses possession. Very scrappy early on, as you'd expect in the early exchanges. And in the end, it's Niall O'Callaghan who tidies things up and puts a nice ball out there towards James Power. Gilline in here towards Con O'Callaghan. That's a lovely slip. He looks inside, looks towards the posts and puts that across. And he was definitely looking for his own score there. Didn't quite come off, but now Luke Keating has plenty of time to measure that one. And Luke Keating gets Cuala underway here in Parnell Park with only a minute and a half gone or so.
Yeah, brilliant score from Cuala in terms of how they kept the ball alive after Conor Callahan's effort came across the goal. Very clear that Judes are playing Derek Cavan back the field a little bit to support the full back line. Oisin Manning then also sitting in front in their sweeper role. Great work from Cuala to create the first score and win the kick out.
It'll be a line ball though for St. Jude's. Tom Lehiff. Nicely done, gets the little 1-2. Pat Spillane. First challenge for Michael Conroy, the right cornerback from Cuala against Spillane. Again, what a story Pat has had in terms of his move up to Dublin and working his way up through the junior and the intermediate ranks with Judes, and then getting his opportunity with the senior team, and of course then getting the opportunity with the Sligo senior footballers. Brilliant story as Kevin Lehiff gets possession there. Manning back to Lehiff. Now Cuala's turn to create a wall of red and white in front of Judes. Here comes McManaman. McManaman, one full forward, taking on another. McManaman in the end gets that one away. Nice little flick there from Kieran Fitzpatrick. Reset is the call from the Cuala management. And in the end, Cuala did really well. Just kept their shape, kept their discipline, waited for the opportunity. And Mick Fitz now with a nice little hand pass to Niall O'Callaghan, who may lose possession here, and the referee's happy enough as Mick looks up. Con O'Callaghan in on his own, in around the edge of the square there for Cuala. He's pointing left, he's pointing right, and Alex Hassett is keeping a very, very close eye on him. Now he's got a little bit of space in front of Hassett if they manage to find him, but they go back. Keating, who scored Cuala's point only a minute or so ago. Peter Duffy leaves that go. Gets it back now. Bit of space. Hits it with the outside of the right, and I think he was going for the effort there, but in the end, nice and comfortable for Brendan Flynn and goal for Judes.
Yeah, wrong option there. I think they could have recycled the ball a couple of times. They've managed to retain ball. They managed to turn over Judes. It's about trying to get scores on the board when you do that. It's so hard to win the ball back and then create something, but that's really the difference. Get into a scoring position, knock it over the bar after you've worked so hard to create a turnover.
Oisin Manning back across the pitch, but that's a poor ball. And Con O'Callaghan has plenty of space for the first time this afternoon, and give him plenty of space, and that's generally going to be the outcome. That's a really steady start for Cuala, but that second score really came about from sloppy Judes play.
Yeah, awful pass across the field there. No one really showing for Judes. There's a lot of bodies in positions, but no one really came looking to help out Manning on that occasion. Overcooked the pass, straight ball into Con O'Callaghan to knock it over the bar, and that's the punishment that comes with the turnover. You got to stick it on the scoreboard.
Kieran Fitzpatrick, low ball, good early call from David Sheehy, who's been prominent early on for St. Jude's. Kevin Lahiff looks inside. Kevin McManaman trying to get away from his marker, who's Owen O'Callaghan this afternoon. Dara Rooney. Does really well to retain possession there and just calm things down a little. Comes back out towards Spillane. Retains possession and in the end puts this one across to Lahiff, but Lahiff was under all sorts of pressure there and did well to take possession. But in the end again, we're seeing that from both sides, to be fair. Just that final pass just not going to hand as Cuala now break with pace. But again, just as I said that about the final pass not going to hand, we have a similar situation there for Cuala. There's a player down for Judes, and
yeah, I think he has a head injury, Marcus. I think when the ball was coming in there, the defender put a hand across and maybe just clipped him with his shoulder unintentionally, but he might have just caught him on the head. So right decision from the referee, I think.
Referee Ian Howley going in there just to make sure that all is well.
Yeah, Judes are making heavy weather of it. They're getting a lot of ball. They're going left, right. They're going from one side of the field to the other side. They're making heavy weather of creating scoring opportunities. We mentioned there's not a huge breeze blowing down, but maybe on the field they're sensing that and afraid to take a shot from 30 yards out. But they are making heavy weather of creating scoring chances up front. 7 minutes on the clock. Haven't had a shot at goal yet of any description. So really need to try and move that ball a little bit quicker and try and get Spillane, Connaughton and Kevin McManaman inside on the ball.
Well, it's the aforementioned Connaughton there that was receiving attention. Good to see that he's good to go again. And we'll come back for possession for St. Jude's. And back they go towards Alex Hassett. McCartan. Really impressive group stage performances from Judes this year. 1-3 from 3 against Whitehall, against Vincent's and Nafiana. And again, as Coleman mentioned earlier, when I think they were 1 from 3 last year after reaching the county final the year before that, just looking to get back up there and to, I suppose, reassert their performance levels, because they have been so consistent in the Dublin Championship and indeed in the league over the last couple of years. Currently won 9 from 14 games in Division 1, and I think that one goes down as a first wide of the afternoon.
Yeah, but again, look where they're trying to cause Cuala problems. Out by the sideline or out at the end line. Cuala are happy enough to sit in around the D. They can have the ball out there, but you need to start trying to penetrate going forward as opposed to going sideways.
Super kick out there from Ryan Scholar. Just placed it into the area that Con O'Callaghan was going towards, but he had other options too. Michael Conroy was offering an option, and so was Cal Doran, but in the end, whistle blown foul on O'Callaghan. Just seems to be motoring in and out. Alex Hassett, as I mentioned earlier, keeping a close eye on him, but already he's had one shot and he's had one score to his name. Another that he, with the fisted effort that he put across the goal, but worked out okay with Luke Keating getting Cuala's first score of the afternoon. And here comes goalkeeper Ryan Scollard. Cal Doran, nice bit of pace there now, and now the angled ball, it's a nice one too, towards Keating. Lovely bit of footwork, and he flashes that across the goal. And whether he was going for a goal or a point, it's a point that results, and that's a really solid start from Luke Keating. 2 scores from 3 from the corner forward.
Brilliant ball inside that opened it up for him, turned and spun. Con O'Callaghan was flying by him. There was maybe a half opportunity to give him a fist pass to flick the net, but did brilliant to stick it over the bar. But much more direct from Cuala. Direct ball in creates the problem as opposed to the side to side that's gone on so far for Judes.
Kieran Fitzpatrick looks inside again. It's just difficult to spot the option, spot the runner with so many from Cuala back there. And instead they'll work it back. Here comes Spillane. Lahif to Spillane again. Stay with him, Mikey, is the call from the bench. And Mikey's done well. Spillane, too many steps. That's brilliant. Michael Conroy, and to be fair, James Power back there as well, just giving him the extra bit of a dig out.
Yeah, well, make the forward make a decision, and that's what they did. He got confused, didn't know where he was going. You know, brilliant from Cuala the way they're structured at the moment.
Now, one-on-one, Con O'Callaghan against Hassett. O'Callaghan, little left, little right. Here comes O'Callaghan. Oh, that's brilliant. That is superb. To be fair to Alex Hassett, from the outset, he's stuck like a glove to Con O'Callaghan. But that's the first time we've really seen them one-on-one, Coleman. And that was just lethal from Cuala and from Con.
Yeah, but what a decision. He's inside his own half when he picks up the ball here. Sees that there's a one-on-one ahead of him. Pings a pass in front of Con O'Callaghan. Niall into inside line. Shows left, comes back on his right then. Leaves him on his backside. And what a finish into the corner. And an outstanding start, outstanding goal. And Cuala so impressive early on here.
Jews just need to settle things down now. They're 6 points behind, but really they've had one effort that goes down as a wide but was barely a shot. So we've yet to see them darken Ryan Scollard's goal. And here's an effort from McManaman. McManaman does exactly that. Just settles nerves down. He gives a quick clap and a quick G up to the lads outside him. Nicely done from the full forward.
Yeah, did well. An important score for Judes. You know, see how simple it is when you give it to the ball in the right place to the right guy. Turns and just pops it over the bar. You know, fainted to go left. Probably the defender bought it rather than standing to see on his stronger right side. Great work from Tom Lahif in the middle of the field. Unlucky not to get a turnover.
Oh, Gillan just tidying things up back there. Nicely won by Duffy. Just getting to that ball ahead of Sean Kerwin. He'll get this one back again, Peter Duffy. Tom Lahif with the foul. And Owen Kennedy now looking to take that kick for Cuala, which he does. Extra bit of screening back there in front of Con O'Callaghan now by the Judes players. Centre half back Oisin Manning back there, just giving an extra dig out to Alex Hassett.
Yeah, soft ball turned over. You know, retain possession, try and work the ball somewhere. Looking for a little bit more intensity. Manning off his forwards there.
And it was Manning with that free to Dara Rooney, and Dara Rooney now taking on Killian Dunn. And he wins a free.
Yeah, he's unlucky, Killian Dunn. He probably did foul him before he got the hand in to win the ball away. You know, maybe gives an opportunity. It's, you know, difficult angle. But it is an opportunity for Dara Rooney, and as you mentioned in their intro, fairly clinical off his from place balls.
Again, any breeze that we do have in Parnell this afternoon is probably against Dara on this free, so it's an even, yeah, and takes it short. Nice ball in towards Spillane. Now he's got a ball off the shoulder from McCartan. McCartan settles himself, and McCartan puts the right foot through that. And I think he's got it, and he has. It's a nice score from Cormac. No, well, I thought he had that, and one umpire says yes, and one umpire says no. But I think it goes down as a wide.
Hard to know. Seems to have gone up on the scoreboard here, but it's hard to know whether given or not given. Probably not by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's been chalked off there on the scoreboard, yeah. But again, the umpire to the left of the goal, as we're looking at it, was raising the white flag, but the umpire to the right signalled wide, so that's been chalked off. Ball in towards Con O'Callaghan. Oh, that could have been perfect to Peter Duffy. Just overrun a slight bit, but that was enough. Now Con O'Callaghan with the right foot. And again, that's going to be easy enough for Brendan Flynn in goal for Jude's second short ball that he's tidied up.
Yeah, brilliant pass again from Niall inside to Con. So unlucky it didn't stick because it was such a great move in terms of the foot pass. Well won.
It was brilliantly won by Owen Kennedy against, was it Tom Lahiff? I think it was. And here comes Niall O'Callaghan. Niall O'Callaghan. And again, it would have been better just to settle things or recycle there as opposed to taking the effort on half a foot. And that goes down as Cuala's first wide of the afternoon.
Yeah, there was probably a handy pass to Cathal O'Gillan there that was just on his shoulder, but he decided to take his own effort. He'd done all the work, probably feeling a bit tired, wasn't able to get any power behind it. But, you know, from a Cuala perspective, 15 minutes in, while there's been a response from Judes, they'll be very happy with how they've, you know, got the game going here in the first quarter.
Kieran Fitzpatrick solos and takes it back in. Now puts a ball across towards Cormac McCartan, who was so unlucky with that effort earlier, which again we felt was a point but was waved wide. And I think a foul further up the pitch, which has been blown by Ian Howley, and it'll be a free now for St. Jude's. Dara Rooney standing over this. Looks like he much prefers the angle in front from this time.
Michael Simons is querying with the referee where the foul was. He reckons he's after robbing a couple of yards. Rooney, maybe he has. No, it's worked. It's worked. We've seen him contest a free in an All-Ireland final not so long ago, and he got a result from that. So maybe he has a trick up his sleeve. Michael Fitzsimons around querying frees and positions out of them too.
Dara Rooney strikes that beautifully, but just sails to the right and wide, and that's the third wide of the afternoon now for St. Jude's.
Yeah, but they'll be happier with how they've maybe settled into the game. The score from McMenamin has probably just eased a few nerves. They're still not creating up front. We mentioned the 7 goals they got in their group stages, but they haven't really gelled together. Oh, bad kick out.
Well, here is the opportunity maybe that they've been waiting for. Derek Kavanagh fouled. And again, as Coleman mentioned there, just a bad kick out and just hands momentum back to Judes. And Dara Rooney, he'll definitely have the eye in after that effort, and you'd imagine this is as easy as it gets in terms of an opportunity for a free taker of his calibre.
Yeah, and a yellow card, I'd say, also to be presented, which there is. Yeah, just poor kick out. So important to kick out at any level now, that if you're not working on it, you're not able to secure your own ball. It puts huge pressure on your defenders. Hence the yellow card, probably gratefully accepted, given there was possibly goal chance opening up.
And Dara Rooney, his first score of the afternoon. And second for St. Jude's. They got their first score after 11. And 5 minutes later, that's Dara Rooney with his name on the score sheet for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, 6 down to 4. The gap, better kick out from Cuala's Ryan Schollard that time.
Conroy. Again, nice block from Rooney. Cuala after picking it up. Step or two too many maybe, but on we go, says the referee. Duffy recycles, finds Owen O'Callaghan. O'Gillan outside of the right peg. That could be perfect, it is. Keating, little pass. Here comes O'Callaghan. Back again to Luke Keating. He's got an option outside which he takes through Owen Kennedy. Cal Dorn. Duffy under a bit of pressure there, but did well just to take the sting out of it. Killian Dunn looks to the referee. Referee says play on. Instead finds Peter Duffy. Kennedy again. Niall O'Callaghan with the Katoga across here towards Niall James, who picked up a yellow card only a couple of moments ago. And now Con O'Callaghan again. It's all about the pace in the end. It's about the hips. It's the show and go. And it's a great finish from Con O'Callaghan.
Yeah, not going to compare him to Shakir despite your hips reference there, but what a move to get inside. There was 3 Judes players in front of him. Went left, came back right. Suddenly there's 3 left behind him and he pops it over the bar. But again, the timing onto the move. He held. Came onto the move late and adds another score to his name. Great score.
That's 1-2 now for Con O'Callaghan here this afternoon in the third quarter-final of the go-ahead Senior 1 Dublin Football Championship. Crokes and Ballybowden already through as we watch Dara Rooney making his way in towards goal, and what a finish! Well, he gave the eyes to Kev McManaman, and instead he just buried it low and hard past Ryan Scholar. That's a brilliant finish and exactly what St. Jude's needed.
Yeah, and came from so deep back the field. You would expect Cuala to be better set up. Spillane that picked it up. Rooney just goes inside his man, and all of a sudden it opens up. Mick Fitzsimons is backing off. Does he go? Does he come? Decides to come towards him, but a brilliant finish. Looked to go far corner, came near corner. Great goal and a big response from Judes.
That gap now down to 2 points. 19 minutes gone here in Parnell Park in the clash of the two Southside clubs. Very enjoyable tussle so far. Both teams playing a very similar style in terms of flooding players back, but not afraid at all to go on the counter-attack with plenty of pace. And a great example of it there is Spillane picking up deep and then just finding the pass. Here comes Con O'Callaghan. And again, he was looking for that run from Luke Keating, who started off like a train here this afternoon with 2 good early scores within the first 9 minutes.
He just stumbled as he was coming across there, gave the Judes defender a chance to get out in front. Gives the Hiff a chance to build.
Kevin McManaman looks inside. And that's a really nice ball and an excellent take. Liam Connerton has recovered, thankfully, and good to see from that knock that he took earlier. And here's a first opportunity for a score for Connerton and to put Judes within a point of Cuala. Connerton with the right. Lovely offensive mark taken. And the gap, as I said, is down to a point.
Yeah, brilliant response. You know, first quarter wasn't good for Judes, but the last 5 minutes have been very good. A goal and 2. But again, quick movement of the ball. Kevin McManaman looks up, pings a pass 40 yards, and all of a sudden you have a scoring opportunity through the mark. You know, the quicker you move the ball, the better chance you give your forwards instead of going left to right.
Long ball in towards Connerton. He tries to break it towards McManaman, but this could work towards Lahiv. And this will surely be the opportunity that Jude's been waiting for to draw level. And our referee this afternoon, Ian Howley, just asking for everyone to calm things down. He's got the book out. And is that Niall James he's talking to? It is, and he's been booked already. He's had a yellow, so I'd say Niall would want to be careful. I'd say just a stern warning there, but yeah, one more of them.
Yeah, I think he was okay, Marcus. I think there was a trip, but it was unintended, if that makes sense. Tom Lahiff picked up the break. But again, a long ball in, broken by Connerton. All of a sudden, you're 40 yards out the field. You're creating a goal chance. Breaks to a free. Brilliant score again in terms of, you know, just doing the right thing with the ball, getting in under a break and draw game after 22 minutes.
Yeah, 1-2 now for Darragh Rooney. He's got that goal and he's got 2 points from frees. He's up and running in terms of place ball and from play. Peadar O'Cuffig-Byrne, who's been relatively quiet this afternoon, as his, in fairness, his marker, Colin Murphy there. O'Cuffig-Byrne slips. Gets that back towards Con O'Callaghan. Back we come again towards James Power. O'Gilline has now gone off his shoulder, but instead he'll put this one towards Niall O'Callaghan. And advantage being played. An effort from Niall O'Callaghan, which sails to the right and wide, but will come back for the earlier foul. And a chance for Cuala possibly to put themselves back in the lead. Interestingly, Coleman, as I look back on, I suppose, a couple of the games that Cuala have already played this year, and in particular, I look back at that Thomas Davis and the great win they had. Again, that day, they raced into a 1-3 to no-score lead, and they let Davis back into that game. And I suppose the same has happened here today, and I suppose what they don't want to happen is what happened the last day, whereas they didn't score in that third quarter, because a team with the experience of St. Jude's will, you can be sure, attack the first 5, 10, 15 minutes of that second half.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and it's so hard to build up a lead, then to give it away as cheaply as you have, and it, you know, Judes have worked their way into the game, but the goal chance, or the goal that was scored by Darragh Rooney, it came from nothing. They were 60 yards away, and all of a sudden they open up Cuala. Because Cuala are player on player, they're not playing a sweeper. That's the risk you run, but it does give them an opportunity from the free here. Well kicked.
As an excellent kick from Keating, breaks in and around goal, which Brendan Flynn puts 2 fists to that ball. That's a great pick there from, it was a Caldorn, I think it was, and this will be a far simpler free, which I think Con will take, but beautiful bit of skill there from Caldorn.
Yeah, free looked good initially, but dropped short. Probably Brendan Flynn, could he have held it in maybe into the bread basket and just secure things? He put 2 fists to it, gave Cuala a chance to win it back again, hands the ball to Con O'Callaghan. You'd only expect one outcome from this. Commentator's curse now placed on Con.
Con steadies and hits that with the right, and Cuala are back in front with 24 minutes gone here in Parnell Park in the quarter-final of the go-ahead Senior 1 Dublin Championships, and a really entertaining game here. Fascinating tussle between these two South County Dublin clubs.
Yeah, and an important score. They'd gone a couple of, probably 5 or 6 minutes without a score in between. Judes getting a goal and 2 points. So nice score again to just put them in front.
Flynn looking for Dara Rooney with that kick out, but instead this will bring Michael Fitzsimons into play. Ken just settles things down, waits for the support to come, which he gets in the end from Michael Conroy, his right corner back. And then Ryan Scollard in goals just tidies everything up by finding Killian Dunn. Owen O'Callaghan spreads play nicely here towards centre half-back Owen Kennedy. Looks inside. Con O'Callaghan goes right, then turns and pirouettes left. And then the ball finds him, and this is perfect from Cuala. That is excellent play from Cuala. A great score from Cal Dorn, but really it was the ball and the pirouette from Con O'Callaghan. Seeing this fella in the flesh is just something else coming.
Yeah, you may not have seen the move on the telly there, but he showed right and then spun back around, took the long ball across the field, a diagonal pass, quick hands, then passes it into his half forward Cal Dorn to knock it over the bar. But impressed with Cuala's foot passing throughout the field. They've managed to use boot to ball, and because of that Judes aren't able to get defensively, and it's allowing Con O'Callaghan the space inside to find his fellow forwards, and another great score for Cuala.
And again, it's the options off the shoulder as well, Coleman. Okay, some of those runs haven't come off, or the balls, they've been overcooked or whatever, but any time that the ball is going in to Keating, and in particular to O'Callaghan, they're looking up, they're looking for the runs from the half forwards or the midfielders, and it's playing dividends whenever it does come off.
Absolutely. If they back Con O'Callaghan, he's inside, so back him. Give him the ball. He's well able to get scores for you, but you've got to back your foot pass to give him an opportunity, and it's clear that Cuala have worked on that, not only into the inside line, but across the field. A couple of brilliant cross-field passes to open up the play. Cuala very impressive in this opening 20-25 minutes, and we know Jude's game plan. It's to be tenacious in the tackle, it's to slow things down, it's to put that block in front of goal, but the foot pass is going to beat that every time if you're able to hit it on target 80% of the time.
And is that the key to it, Coleman? I mean, we see both teams setting up with a similar defensive structure, I suppose. But again, those foot passes and accurate foot passes, that's going to beat that structure. As we'll just watch this going in and over the bar. Nice score from Dara Rooney. But again, for Judes or for Cuala, that's the best way of making, I suppose, keeping it nice and wide and then using that foot pass to kind of bring other players into it.
Yeah, look, I guess statistics in GAA now show you that, how many times you had the possession, what did you do when you had it, how many times did you turn it over. So there can be a fear that if I'm kicking the ball, I run the risk of losing the ball. But the risk-reward, here we go again.
Another excellent foot pass, and here comes Dorn, and that's the second score of the afternoon for Cal Dorn. O'Gillon in acres of space, but he took the right option, gave it to the man inside who's maybe better placed, and Dorn did the rest. Lovely score.
Yeah, and Ryan Scollard's kick out again. He got caught on a short one, but when he goes long, he's beating the Judes, the first line of Judes, which is then leaving it wide open in behind, not giving Judes the chance to set up. And as we were saying there, if you're slow on the ball, Judes drop back. If the ball is ahead of the Judes forward line, midfield, there's space inside, and that's obviously what's reaping dividends at the moment. I know they're only 2 points of the good. Judes are well in the game, but compare the pressure and the foot passing, and you'll see why Cuala are in front at this stage in the game.
Really good play from Peter Duffy, the Cuala midfielder there. Tom Lahiff thought he had hours to get that ball, and suddenly Duffy just ate up the ground and got in a fist just to make it difficult for him. Just nothing being handed to the Judes players out there, and why would there be? Lovely little footwork from Connaughton, but Owen O'Callaghan is stuck to the task, and the cornerback will come away with this one, will he? And instead he gets a bit of a dig out there from O'Cuffig Byrne, but that is a brilliant win from the left corner back, Owen O'Callaghan. Here he is again, motoring up the pitch.
Absolutely brilliant defending there. Liam Connaughton's only second time he's really got on the ball. He didn't buy the dummy to go round him. He stood with him, managed to get a hand in. Not only that, then got support from O'Cuffig Byrne to secure the ball and get out with it. Not happy with the defensive role. He then offers himself an out ball. Brilliant work from Cuala defensively.
Kennedy. And Peter Duffy just takes half a look inside to see what options are in there. Niall O'Callaghan's in there, Con O'Callaghan's in there. But 3 Judes players keeping a close eye on them. Michael Conroy. Niall and Con just keeping it nice and narrow and leaving plenty of room out on the left and on the right wing. So that if the ball does come in, there's plenty of room for them to run into, but instead this will be a free for Luke Keating. Looks up, looking to take the quick one. Instead he'll settle, and there's an option out right here with Peter Duffy.
Yeah, but look at where all the blue bodies are. There's a line of blue bodies that are inside the 45 or close to it. So they're aware where they are, Cuala, so they're not going to kick it into there. And the space then that's in behind that is brilliant. O'Callaghan's inside, both known to leave space, hold a run, and something might come.
Lovely kick pass there towards O'Gilloyne, who now puts the fist pass in towards Con O'Callaghan. Bit of space out here now for James Power, but instead ups against the kick for score. And just recycles again, just nice and slow, and patient build-up from Cuala. We're into the red now in terms of injury time at the end of this first half. I can't imagine there'll be that much. There was that one instant maybe with Liam Connaughton at the start of the game, but Con O'Callaghan, ball slips out of his grasp, and here comes Pat Spillane. Gives the hand pass away to centre-back Oisin Manning. Off the shoulder towards Murphy. Murphy, if he spots Pat Spillane is screaming for, will he get it from McManaman? No, Cuala have players back there now. And one of those is Luke Keating. That is brilliant from the corner forward. And Liam Connaughton thought he had more time and was certainly looking for a shout from a teammate to let him know that he didn't have any. But that was brilliant play from Luke Keating all the way back there, dispossessing Connaughton.
Yeah, I think Kevin McManaman was probably unlucky. Look, to me, he was fouled when he turned inside there, and then the extra press came from Cuala. Great pressure here from Judes. Someone needs to pick, and they have.
Definite foul there on Connaughton. Waited for the whistle, got it, and here they come now with Sean Kerwin. Ignores the run of Kevin McManaman, instead goes out here towards David Sheehy. Sheehy now to Spillane. Spillane has space. Spillane steadies himself, but that could still stay in, you know. And the referee, and it'll go down as a wide. And the referee, Ian Howley, has blown the half-time whistle here at half-time in a very entertaining go-ahead senior football championship encounter between Cuala and Judes. It's Cuala that are 2 points to the good. And we'll have a look back at some of the scores and some of the action from that first half.
Yeah, brilliant first half. Brilliant first quarter for Cuala. Really dominant. Got onto the ball, managed to recycle a couple of times to create scores. Opened up with a point from Luke Keating, who's been very, very involved in the opening half. Poor kick across the field that opened it right up. Plenty of time for Con O'Callaghan in front of goal. There's only going to be one result, but again, it came from the result of a turnover. Again, look at the pass inside. You know, this movement of the ball has been very strong. Was there a chance for goal? Well, he bent himself, but knocks it over the bar, and all of a sudden they're 3 points to the good. And then comes this brilliant goal. Niall O'Callaghan picks up the pass again. He's inside his own 65-metre line when he puts boot to ball, or just outside it. What a pass inside. And the fear in the eyes, maybe, of the Judes fullback, Alex Hassett. Con O'Callaghan goes left, right, finishes it into the corner. 11 minutes on the clock, it's 1-3 to no score, and Judes are under a bit of pressure. Great response from Kevin McManaman. Almost immediately from the goal, he turns inside and pops one over the bar. Jude's first score that came after 12 minutes. And then there was this kick that we had a bit of an argument up here about. It was deemed a score from one umpire. The other umpire said no. Cormac McCartan would have been happy to get one from it. He got nothing at all in the end. And after 17 minutes, it was 2 points to 1-3. Look at the feet from Con O'Callaghan again to turn inside. 1-4-2. 10 minutes left in the half. But in fairness to Judes, they rallied well. Look how deep this goal move started. They're well back the field. Pat Spillane takes off, loses control. No one coming to meet him. Dara Rooney on the right of the screen makes a run inside. And Michael Fitzsimon's caught between two stools here. Does he drop? Does he come? Fakes to go right, pulls it to the left. A brilliant finish from Dara Rooney and a great response. Given they hadn't really been in the game to that point, brilliant pass from McManaman inside. Finds Connaughton, who's been quiet, well marshalled, has to be said, by the Cuala full back line. Owen O'Callaghan has done a great job on him. And a couple of frees from Rooney tied up the game at 1-4 apiece. And that was in a very short period of time before Con O'Callaghan opened out to a point again. Another brilliant ball. This came to the movement inside O'Connor Callan. Watch the pass inside. Brilliant. Maybe half chance goal. Decides to take the point. The 1 of 2 that he got in the closing minutes of the half. High ball in again from Rooney. Was dropping and dropped over the bar for their final score of the half. And then the last point for Cuala again. Again, the movement inside, showing all the time. Was there a chance to go harder here and maybe look to pull out a goal from it? He decided no, popped it over the bar, but leaves it at 1-7 to 1-5 at half time. And a really interesting first half, Marcus.
Yeah, really interesting first half, as Coleman said there. Plenty of action, plenty of drama, and 2 goals, and 2 high quality goals at that. One for Cuala from Conor O'Callaghan and the other from Dara Rooney after 19 minutes for St. Jude's. Well, we're going to leave it there for a couple of minutes, but we will be back with the second half here in the go-ahead Dublin GAA Football Championships, the quarterfinal, the third quarterfinal of the weekend. Crokes and Ballyboden are already there. Who'll join them? Cuala or Judes? 2-point game. We'll be back after this short break. And you're very welcome back to Parnell Park for the second half of this go-ahead Dublin Senior Football Championship quarter-final encounter between Cuala and St. Judes. A little bit of confusion at half-time about scores that were given and weren't given, but definitely 2-point game. Cuala 1-7, St. Judes 1-5. And again, as we're waiting for the players to get into their positions, Ian Howley, our referee, has the ball at his feet. A reminder about the go-ahead Dublin GA Club Awards, which were announced during the week. And this recognised the work of clubs, officials, volunteers, players, on and off the pitch, everyone involved in your club. So go to dublingA.ie. You need to get your entries in by the 12th of November. So plenty of time, but is there someone in your club that deserves special recognition for their work? Again, either on or off the pitch. Go to dublingA.ie for the go-ahead Dublin GA Club Awards for 2023. Well, the ball has been thrown in, and Lehif gets a strong fist to that, but Padro Cuffig Byrne will get the break, and Cuala on the attack. Couple of steps, and indeed there was, and that's a good turnover forced there by St. Judes to start off this second half.
Yeah, just a strong hand on the ball. Colin Murphy, a big man, so when he gets in your way, it's going to be hard to free up the ball, but certainly took too many steps. Right decision from referee.
Again, as I mentioned before the game, conditions almost perfect for football here in Parnell Park, particularly when you consider all the warnings that were given during the week about status yellow weather warnings. And I appreciate that it's we're quite lucky here, and it's not so lucky for some places around the country. Obviously Waterford, a lot of the charity events that were being organised for the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland had to be cancelled there because of the bad weather, but hopefully plenty of the other activities organised throughout the country for that brilliant charity will still go ahead this afternoon. And as I said, two great games to look forward to here. Cuala and Judes first up, and then Vincent's and Raheny at 4 o'clock live on Dubs TV this afternoon. Kevin McManaman, first opportunity for him to shine in this second half. Takes on O'Callaghan, takes a few steps, and in the end he knew he had the advantage, and it'll be the first opportunity in the second half, an opportunity for Judes to narrow that gap to 1.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if he gave the free for the foul on Kevin McManaman or a pull that happened off the ball just ahead of the move where Kevin McManaman was moving through. Judes probably got away with one out around the 45. Looked like that ball was touched on the ground by Kieran Fitzpatrick, the full back, in the build-up to that move. But again, McManaman's power driving through there is always going to cause problems. But a nice opportunity to open the score in second half for Dara Rooney.
Dara Rooney with 1-3 for Judes in that first half. Con O'Callaghan with similar tally to his name for Cuala. First opportunity of the second half, and that's taken by Dara Rooney. Margin narrowed to 1 point, and as I was saying earlier, really good conditions, but any breeze that we do have is favouring Judes in this second half, as Ryan Scollard goes long with that kick out for Cuala, and that's going to break here, and it's a lovely foot pass from James Power. It's in towards Keating, 2 points in the first half. Can he start off the second with another? Here he is making his way in towards Flynn's goal, and I think he tried to put that doors. Niall O'Callaghan, oh, what a finish! He was falling, but it didn't matter. Niall O'Callaghan with the Kitog, an absolute bullet into the top corner. What a finish, but full credit to Keating. And again, how well he had to work to create the space.
Yeah, those long kickouts again causing problems. Brilliant work on the line here. Looked like Manning had done enough. Comes across, didn't get enough on the pass. Corner back cuts it out. Kerwin, but instead of catching it, palms it. Niall O'Callaghan spin, pirouettes, buries it into the top corner of the net. Again, the long kick out over the top of the Judes cover, opened it all up. A brilliant goal for Cuala.
Well, great start to the second half. Score apiece, a point for Dara Rooney, and then a goal for Niall O'Callaghan. Bit of space here now for Cathal O'Gilloyne to run into. He's got Cal Doran ahead of him. He'll use Doran. 2 points at the end of the first half for Doran.
I'm just not quite sure. I know what Judes are trying to do in terms of blocking space inside. I'm just not sure why they don't press out and put more, apply more pressure on the foot pass in or the movement out the field from Cuala. They're allowing them so much space out the field. You know, a silly foul there, and that's because the contact is so close to goal that, you know, if they pushed out 10 metres, they'd put more pressure on that Cuala, you know, attack as such. gives an opportunity from a place ball here, certainly.
And I think it's going to be a throw, is he?
Yeah, I think maybe a signal he's going to hop it because someone got involved afterwards.
Well, Ian Howley throws it up between O'Cuffig-Byrne and Murphy. And it's Duffy who comes away with it for Cuala. But Murphy did really well just to put a toe to that to get Spillane into the game. And here comes Derek Kavanagh. Kavanagh back to Spillane. Spillane, Conroy coming across him now. And now Spillane steadies himself with the left. But that's a second wide of the afternoon for Spillane. 5th in total for Judes this afternoon.
Yeah, well, defender did brilliant there because he knew that Spillane was hoping to cut back onto his right, so kept him on his left side, made him take the shot on his left side. Well, one thought the kick was going to go over his head, but very good work defensively. He's fouled surely there in that he was being held back from picking up the ball.
Well, play on, says the referee, and on goes Rooney. This is going to make its way across to McManaman, and again, whistle there, and possibly an earlier free, but anyway, decision made. Ian Howley with the whistle. And foul on McManaman, and this will be as easy a free as Dara Rooney will take with the right in front of the goals.
Yeah, again, McManaman displaying his strength there. He's able to just get in front of the wing back. Killian Dunn holds his position and takes a bang in the back, albeit foul given on the far side of the field. I think Cuala can be unlucky that they didn't get a foul earlier in the move, but chance for Rooney.
Dara Rooney now, that's 1-5. The centre half forward has scored this afternoon. And the gap is back to 3.
Yeah, and it's not that they're indisciplined in terms of their tackling. They're probably just late and they're getting caught with them, but they're being punished every time by another brilliant kick and flicked on by O'Cuffig-Byrne.
Lovely hands from a goal line. Foul on O'Callaghan.
I think we're in black card territory here, Marcus.
Yeah, Kevin Lahiff there, the left half back for St. Jude's. And Ian Howley just taking his time as the referee. I think he's going to go over and he's going to talk. Possibly a quick word in the ear of his linesman.
I think he did. Big Brother is sticking up for him here, but I'm not sure it's going to be good enough for him. Brilliant move. Again, the flick on from O'Cuffig-Byrne. The long kick is causing Judes huge problems. Flicked on by O'Cuffig-Byrne. It frees up the move.
And it is a black card. Kevin Lahiff, 10 minutes on the sideline. 6 minutes gone now in the second half.
10 minutes with 14 at this stage of the game gives Cuala a huge opportunity to, dictate the terms of this 10 minutes.
And O'Callaghan taking this from the ground.
I watched a few kicks in the warm-up. He was unsuccessful with a few of them, so...
I think you're being generous with that description, Coleman. Now Con strikes across that ball, but it goes to the left and wide. A second wide of the afternoon for Cuala. And now interesting to see what Cuala will do with that extra man. Will they sit him back or will they have one in around midfield? At the moment, really good zonal marking on this kick out from Cuala. Very vocal as well, and in the end just one lobbed in towards. That's brilliant. Really well done by Oisin Manning, and he had to make it now. Spillane, he's got acres of room to run into. He's got Killian Dunn coming across him. Near hand tackle from Dunn, and O'Callaghan coming out from his corner to tidy things up.
Yeah, I think Spillane was unlucky there. I think he was fouled after he lost the ball. Yeah, maybe the decision comes when it shouldn't, when it probably was free earlier than that. And Spillane, on following that, was probably lucky, left a boot in when he was sliding for a ball that a referee could have given a free out for. So between everything, probably the right decision in the end for a free for Judes. Difficult angle for Rooney though.
This is a really difficult angle. 1-5 he scored so far this afternoon. Rooney from the right hand side with the right foot. It's turning, it's curling, and it might yet stay in from Connerton, and it is. O'Callaghan putting pressure on him. That's a really good block from Fitzsimons. And it's still there. And Scollard in the end sees that going over the bar, and it's an effort there from David Sheehy.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be unkind saying that he wasn't sure really what he was trying to do there, but he spun it up off just enough to drop over the crossbar with Ryan Scollard looking up at it. A score out of nothing for Judes, and they're clinging on despite not playing particularly well. They're not really moving as fluidly as they generally do up front, but they're clinging on. They're being given opportunities, and while Cuala leads, certainly you wouldn't put it past Judes and orchestrated a comeback here to get back on level terms at least.
2-point game. Judes with the win in this second half, in the third of the Go Ahead Dublin Senior Football Championship quarter-finals. Ballybowden and Kilmacud Crokes, the winners yesterday. Will it be Cuala and Judes in the draw? Will it be St. Vincent's and Raheny in the draw? That second game live and exclusive this afternoon on Dubs TV from 4 o'clock. And we will have the draw for that semi-final after that quarter-final at 4 o'clock. Nice dispossession there from Tom Lahiff and his inter-county colleague.
Yeah, no options for Fitzsimons, left totally isolated. No one came to get the ball off him, and therefore Judes orchestrated the turnover.
Another head injury here potentially. I think it's Oisin Manning that's down. And again, Ian Howley, rightly so, just taking no chances and just making sure everything is good to go again, which it is. And Kieran Fitzpatrick with the free for Judes. Manning again under pressure. And a ball over the top towards Manning. And a foul there from Niall O'Callaghan. Soft enough, says Niall. And again, we've seen that a couple of times now. Ian Howley, anytime there's any bit of extra chat, extra lip, he's more than happy to present a few extra yards.
Yeah, I don't know what Niall O'Callaghan was giving out about there. He fouled and was very obvious from our vantage point, certainly. So you just need to keep your mouth closed and move on. Probably too far out for Darragh Rooney to have a cut, but it's a nice place to build from for Judes. They're such a dogged team, and that's meant in the greatest respect, in that they wear teams down. They're so physical. They're trying to get into your face. In my view, they probably could press a lot earlier than they have been, and because of that, they've given Cool opportunity to build. But their work rate is insatiable for any time they're on the field. That's really what they build themselves around.
First sub of the afternoon there, Dara Spillane has come on in place of Niall James, the Cooler right half-back. Niall, who had a yellow card in the first half, probably a wise decision to take him off. And here comes Dara Spillane straight into play here. Son of the legendary Mick Spillane, of course. So interesting to see if he comes up against his cousin Pat. Nice composure from Cormac McCartan there, just to gain those extra few yards that he needed to get that pass away. Again, Cuala playing with that extra man at the moment. A black card presented to Kevin Lahiff after 36 minutes. That's Spillane.
Brilliant defending.
Cal Doran. Steps potentially, and instead O'Gilline does well there and gets the ball away to Dara Spillane. Here comes Con O'Callaghan now. Back out to Spillane. Spillane with the pass to O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan looking up. He's got Keating inside him. Keating comes out. Now going back in again. O'Callaghan takes on his two markers. And the referee says too many steps.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think he cut inside. He did manage to get a play of the ball. There was two defenders pulling at him. I think the referee went with, obviously, the defender's work, but I think Conor Callan can find himself a little bit unlucky there.
McCartan back to his goalkeeper, Brendan Flynn. And Flynn with a lovely kick pass to Oisin Manning. Darragh Rooney in a bit of space in front of Kennedy. Turns him one way, turns him the next, but Kennedy sticks with him. Ball in towards Connerton. In front of Owen O'Callaghan, and just like at the other side, again, the referee's whistle blows, and it's in favour of the defenders.
Yeah, great show to win the ball, but again, just no one coming by to support, and enough cooler guys around him to put pressure on him. In fairness to the referee, consistent with his decisions, both ends of the field.
I think, to be fair to the referee, the picture that he's seeing is a forward winning a ball with an opportunity to give it away or do something with it. If he doesn't take that opportunity, then his mind is immediately going to switch to, well, this is good defence, they've bottled him up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't disagree with you. I think he's been very consistent, which is all players can look for.
And no disagreement over that decision.
A little bit scrappy. I think of the opening quarter we had, far more fluid than the opening third quarter of the game, we'll say. 45 minutes on the clock. Judes have been tipping away at the scoreboard, but 2 from 3 from frees. And just that solitary score for Cuala, but could be a critical one. Goal by Niall O'Callaghan, which was a super finish.
And Simon King is after coming on here now for St. Jude's with about 15 or so minutes left here in Parnell Park. He's replaced Colin Murphy in midfield. As Cuala come on the attack. Again, it's that long kick pass that's taken by Keating. Keating looks up towards the post, and that is a stunning score from Luke Keating. But it's football at its simplest and at its finest coming.
Yeah, well, look, the ball moves faster than the individual, so foot pass on a diagonal. Think back to all the successful teams that have used that diagonal foot pass to try and create spaces up front. Absolutely brilliant. Well won by O'Cuffey. Byrne puts Lahiff under pressure.
Line ball in the end to Judes, which Lahiff will take, trying to find Cormac McCartan. And instead, that's really good work from Killian Dunn, brother, of course, of Jennifer, one of the stars of the Dublin ladies football team, and now over in Australia, trying to leave her mark on the women's AFL, and no doubt she will. Superb athlete and footballer for Cuala and for Dublin over the years. David Sheehy running into traffic, running into Padder O'Cuffey Byrne. It's quite the obstacle to run into. Tom Lahiff, angle ball out towards Kevin McMenamin in front of Owen O'Callaghan.
Yeah, looking at to see a card there. He went in with his boot on Kevin McMenamin. I think that's what has McMenamin very unhappy with the tackle. Referee is going to have a word, and I think it's the right decision. McMenamin was brave out in front to win the ball. There was definitely a boot left in rather than a fist. Rooney's going to have a look at it, but when you're stepping out past, maybe, I'm not saying his limit is 45 metres, but you're starting to force frees. Look at all the good free takers. It's a technique, doesn't change. It's a similar style. Once you put an extra bit of effort into it, you put your technique under pressure, which often leads in a missed opportunity. Looks like he's going short on this.
Indeed he has, to Pat Spillane in front of Conroy. Kevin McMenamin now looks up. And there's a pass on here, and it's a nice pass towards Cormac McCartan, the right half back. Peter Duffy in front of him. Sheehy. Point to his name already in this second half. Kevin McMenamin now steadies outside of the right foot, and he knew straight away. Drove that to the right and wide, and I think that's 6 wides now for Judes in this game.
Yeah, look, with the clock ticking down, 13-14 minutes left to play. Cuala in a great position here. Judes aren't functioning up front. They're not creating those opportunities we generally associate with them. And Cuala are so good at getting kicks away. Will he win that? No. So they have themselves in an opportunity. Now is the chance to go ahead and win the game. And how do you do that? It's about securing the big kickouts. It's about securing the big possessions. Big 10, 12 minutes left here.
Ball in towards Rooney, out in front of Kennedy. Now there's an angled ball if ever we've seen it. Here comes McMenamin one-on-one with Mick Fitz. Here comes a Lahiff. Strong game. Well, if Cuala can play simple football, so can Judes. Really accurate, crisp passing out the foot, and then just the accuracy off the hand pass to the shoulder, and a really good finish. No chance to Ryle Scollard in the goal.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant pass across the field from Rooney. McMenamin realising he was faced up to Fitzsimon, needed a hand. Watch Lahiff on the peel, buries it into the net. Great score for Judes, and the response I didn't see coming has come, so fair play to them. Draw game, 12 minutes on the clock. Who can win it?
Here comes an effort from Cathal O'Gilline, and he's put that to the right and wide. And again, just to take a step back for a second, Coleman as well, like Ryan Scollard has been so accurate on those long kickouts, and in fairness, it was the right idea. Dara Spillane was in acres of space over on the far side, but it just hit that surface. It just skidded off with just the extra bit of dampness that we have here this afternoon. And from that line ball, just Judes built and went. But really, from a Cuala point of view, if that kick out had a stud, or had a stuck, I should say, Dara Spillane was in acres of space. It's amazing just how quickly it can turn. Yeah,
it's tiny margins, it really is. You know, the ball sticks, Cuala at the other end of the field, it doesn't, and Judes get a goal chance. But again, what was the goal chance come out of? Quick line ball, another pass across the field. So 2 kick passes opens up the chance for Lahiff in front of goal through the pass from McMenamin. So much simpler when it's done right.
Dara Rooney Did really well there just to get away from Cal Dorn. And was that a foul by Conroy? It wasn't, says the ref. And here comes McMenamin. Half a block there. And Scholar did really well to stop the 45. Oh, well, we've lost it here. And here comes Connaughton. Connaughton in on goal. Is that wide? Wide ball. Oh.
Let's see it again here, maybe. Goalkeeper comes out. Brilliant work by Connaughton. Turns it over. Goalkeeper in no man's land. Steps inside. Shoots at the wrong side of the post. Oh.
7 wides for Judes. And again, when you look at that, there was 2 men inside him as well. Maybe he could have looked at another option, as I see David Sheehy is leaving the pitch there. So another sub on, I think it's John Carty who's after coming on for Judes. James Power looks to switch the play across here towards Duffy, and it looks like Kevin Lahiff is back on again. Was off for 10 minutes with the black card, but he's back on the pitch, so 15 on 15 again. Here comes Con O'Callaghan. He's an option behind him in James Power, which he uses. Duffy. Cuala just taking the sting out of play a bit here now.
Big 10 minutes with the black card. They outscored a goal and a point to Cuala's goal. Or sorry, a point, 1-1 to the point. So even without the 15 on the field, they still managed to get the big score, which is that goal.
10 minutes to go here in Parnell Park. Drawn game. Again, context on it. Cuala raced into a 1-3 to no score lead after 10 minutes as we watch another wide there. This time from James Power, I think.
Yeah, wrong option again. You just need to settle on the ball. You mentioned Connaughton's chance the other side of the field. There's players around him. Could have maybe worked that goal. In that instance, it's just a wrong opportunity to take. You know, hold on to possession, create something. Couple of scores wins this game for the team that manages to get them.
And 2 subs on now for Cuala. Diarmuid O'Flynn, number 20, is after coming on, and so has Shane Mangan. And leaving the pitch is Killian Dunn. Anyway, I haven't seen the second player yet. But 2 substitutes definitely for Cuala.
Great kick out from Brendan Flynn.
Back Judes go to their keeper, Brendan Flynn.
Michael Fitzsimons has pushed out from the full back line, is now marshalling Dara Rooney. Plenty of pace in the legs if he gets on the ball to go the other way.
Lovely ball from Flynn to pick out Sean Kerwin. Oisin Manning loses possession there ever so briefly. Has it back now and finds Spillane. Cormac McCartan looks inside. Liam Connaughton looking for that ball. He was looking for it more square, and instead it was put out to the wing where this should be O'Callaghan's, and it is. Owen O'Callaghan did really well there.
He's had a brilliant game, Owen O'Callaghan. I know he was being challenged inside there, but he's been brilliant. Liam Connaughton, highly thought of, you know, both inter-county and club scene, so he's done a great job in keeping him quiet.
Space now for Peter Duffy as we enter the last 8 minutes or so of the 60 here in Parnell Park. O'Gillan with that ball in, and is it going to outrun Niall O'Callaghan? It will. And again, just in the last kind of 5-6 minutes coming, I think that's three wides that Cuala have hit, and again, some of them just bad options, and just maybe just the legs showing a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams have worked so hard to the 50-minute mark that there's definitely fatigue starting to creep in. And when the fatigue creeps in, it's about making the right decision, because you don't have the legs to make up for a bad pass. So it's about who can be smartest now over the next 5-7 minutes. Judes have a lot of memory, muscle memory here from previous seasons. Cuala have been in this position before in terms of quarterfinals and have maybe struggled to get over the line. So it's going to take something special for a team to come out on top here. So is it the muscle memory or something new from Cuala? But it's in the melting pot, no doubt about it.
Alan Connolly, the latest substitute on for St. Jude's. He's on in place of Kevin McMenamin. On comes Cuala. On comes Con. He's got O'Flynn outside him, but Con takes possession, and, well, he needed maybe just the extra little bit of a touch from Brendan Flynn, but it's Cuala back in the lead with 6 minutes to go here in Parnell Park.
What a brilliant fetch from Cal Doran in the middle of the field. Not only did he win it on the run, he moved the ball on the run, freed up the space, didn't slow, didn't look for mark, seen the opportunity. He's not the biggest fella on the field, but he certainly was all heart going for that one. Wins the ball, gives it to O'Callaghan, and one result over the bar. Big score for them.
Simon King is down injured at the moment for St. Jude's, but as Coleman mentioned earlier, you know, the scores from Cuala in this second half playing into that breeze have been sporadic enough, but it's been a 10-minute gap between each. It's that point after 33 for Niall O'Callaghan. It was that goal on 44, the goal for Niall O'Callaghan on 33, a point from Luke Keating on 44, and that score for Con O'Callaghan on 54. Puts them on 2-9, Judes on 2-8 with just over 5 minutes to go here in Parnell Park.
Yeah, they'll definitely get chances, Judes. There's no doubt about it. So it was a point good enough to win it. They've only 4 scores themselves, second half, Marcus. So it's been, you know, I won't say a game or a war of attrition, but certainly scores have been hard to come by. So Cuala, again, find themselves in position where they're leading the game. Can they put a squeeze on the kick out? Can they orchestrate a turnover? Can they build out the lead?
Well, at the moment, they're very much trying to put a squeeze on Brendan Flynn. In goals for Judes.
Another brilliant kick out. Absolutely
superb.
Brilliant.
Cormac McCartan takes that ball. And it's a nice ball then to Alan Connolly. Connolly. Here comes Rooney. Rooney fires it. Oh! Great hand from Scollard to put that over the bar. And Rooney, the easy option was to take his point, but he went for it. And it took a really, really strong hand from Scollard to put it over the bar.
Yeah, but we spoke about Scollard's kickouts and what the platform it gave. Brendan Flynn's kick out there. One ball out to McCartan. Ball goes inside. Rooney coming through on the charge. Brilliant save. Scollard knocks it over the bar. Draw game. Super save. Keeps Cuala alive.
Here comes Dara Rooney. Takes on Mick Fitzsimons. Passes that back to Connaughton. Now Lehif. Low ball into space, into Alan Connolly. Connolly turns, and that is lovely from the substitute. He's only on a couple of minutes, but he laid on that score for Rooney, and now he's at his own.
Yeah, brilliant. Showed out in front. Turns very easy, knocks it over the bar, and you rightly said, was influential in the goal as well. Cuala chasing the game for the first time. The first time Judes have led. 3-4 minutes left to play. Big time to lead a game.
It certainly is. Here they come again. Low ball into space, into John Carty, and really
took his eye off it. Should have secured possession. Hands it back to Cuala. Just looking to think what he was going to do when he got it rather than securing the ball.
Spillane won that ball, but I think the referee wants that line ball to be taken again as we're waiting on another substitute to come in here for St. Jude's.
Chris Guckian, I think it looks like.
Yeah, it is Chris Guckian, 21, coming on there, and I think it's Oisín Manning going off, who's been in the wars this afternoon. Oisín.
Yeah, well, Chris Guckian, tremendous servant for Judes, a long time on the go, has been a mainstay of that defensive line for so many years, so certainly no lack of experience in what Guckian brings into the game.
Well, it's that experience they need now. Can they see it out? 2.5 minutes of the 60 left to go here in Parnell Park. As we see another substitute there, another player who's left it all out there this afternoon. Owen O'Callaghan, the left cornerback for Cuala. He's gone off, and I'll just see who's come on. I think it's Luke Tracy who's after coming on for Owen. Number 18. As Scollard in goals looks to build. Now all the Judes players are in their own half of the pitch. Yeah. Conroy. Tracy's first involvement. Now Padro Cuffig-Byrne has been swallowed up. And Guckian. Well, he's been dispossessed by Mick Fitzsimons. Mick will try to take his 4 steps and get away from the tackle, and does really well there. And even better again is O'Gilline. And there's room over here on the left-hand side if they can find Kennedy, which they do. Nice little 1-2 there with Cal Dorn. Here comes Kennedy. Still going forward. Tries to take a solo, and too many steps as the referee. And again, he's been very consistent on that foul this afternoon.
Yeah, probably right, in fairness to him. Big win back from Michael Fitzsimons after Cuala turned over the ball. Put huge pressure on Guckian to win it back. Trying to create something up front. Just overran at that time to Owen Kennedy. allows Judes to settle it down, allows them to get reset. Now they'll need to hold on to the ball for 2 or 3 minutes if they can't add a score. But it's Cuala who are chasing it now, and that's the difference.
Spillane turns and just retains possession long enough to bring Kevin Lahiff into the pitch. Lahiff makes his way towards Rooney, gives that ball off, and here's an effort from Liam Connaughton, which is going to break in around the goal. And oh, that's really good, is it? Well, brilliant in the end from Ryan Scollard. He lost possession, but then he regathered. But they're not out of the woods yet. And it's a free in for Judes. As Kevin Lahiff went down to pick the ball, a boot came across, and Ian Howley has blown his whistle. And could this be the decisive score?
Yeah, so unlucky. Needed someone to go down on the ball. It was Lahiff who went down. The brogue came in.
So Michael Conroy just put the boot across.
Yeah. It's a long way back for Cuala if this one goes over the bar. It's 60 minutes on the clock. There might be 3-4 minutes injury time. Have they enough in them for 2 scores? They'll certainly need the goal, which is 1, but it's a big ask to eke a goal out.
Another substitution now for Cuala. I think poor O'Cahlo Gulline has run himself into the ground, cramp affecting him, and I think it's Mark Tracy who's come on in his place for the last few minutes. As we now look at Dara Rooney, who settles himself, and 4 on the line in front of him, so didn't overcomplicate things, just took a score, and that just pushes them a little bit further ahead. The 30 is up. It's all about how many minutes Ian Howley adds at the end of the 60 now.
Yeah, well, when it came into the crunch last 5 minutes, they've hit 3 scores without reply, have Judes. That's the experience they have.
Con O'Callaghan looking to take this free quickly.
Yeah, it's of no value to him for the referee to stop it. Absolutely no value. He's given a yellow card. He's pushing them back. Was the yellow card for the foul? If it was, well, then the move should be brought forward because it was delayed. It's no benefit to O'Callaghan for Judes to be able to reset. Can Cuala work a big score?
Tracy to Niall O'Callaghan has the advantage. He's going to take a score here. And that is hit to the right and wide, but he had the advantage and will come back for a free here.
It's going to come down to a last kick out from Brendan Flynn, I think. Opportunity to score from the free here. If you knock this over, it's a point game. Point game, then apply the pressure on the kick out because you need to win it.
Well, Keating had scored 2 from play in the first half. And goal in the second. And Ian Howley still talking here to Kieran Fitzpatrick, and it's another yellow card. So Luke Keating with 3 points to his name already this afternoon. This is to narrow the gap to 1. Massive kick with the left. It's high. And it's over the bar. That's brilliant from Luke Keating. 1 point game. Massive pressure now on Brendan Flynn's kick out for Judes.
Brilliant kick from Luke Keating. All the pressure on him. It's now Cuala's chance to press up on Judes. They've been brilliant these last 5 minutes. Kicked 3 scores. They put themselves in a winning position. They just need someone to secure the ball here.
Well, interesting enough, when they played each other way back in June in the league, it was a 1 point game. It was 2-11 to 2-10 that day. And as it currently stands here in Parnell Park, it's the exact same scoreline to the exact same team. Oh, that was really unlucky there from Kennedy, and Spillane will make his way in. Here's the insurance score. No, it's not. Will they rude that? Well, they've managed to recycle it, and here comes Connolly. Puts that back towards Kevin Lahiff. Guckian to Lahiff again.
Calling for time beneath us here. Judes, are they able to see it out? They have the ball. It's up to Cuala to win it back. Great
really
move from Rooney inside.
Rooney with the right. And the post again. Where's this going to break? Peadar O'Cuffig-Byrne. One last chance for Cuala perhaps with Tracy, with Mick Fitzsimons. Gives that one away. Advantage being played. Here comes Niall O'Callaghan. He looks up. He looks inside. There's Con O'Callaghan. And that's as cynical as you'll see all day. And well, it'll be a black card here, you can be sure, for Kieran Fitzpatrick, the Judes. Well, it's not. It's is it a second yellow and a red? Either way, they're down to 14.
Yeah, he was just booked a couple of minutes ago inside, so it's 2 and probably 2 minutes for him. But you got to question Pat Spillane bearing down on goals. Fisted over the bar, you're 2 points to the good. The ball comes back out. Dara Rooney hits it off the upright. Within the space of one move, they've hit up on the side of the bar and the upright. And you just wonder, is there a score in Cuala to drag this into extra time?
Well, you could be sure they've asked the question, how many time is left? Ian Howley, the referee, has just had a chat with his 2 linesmen just to make sure they're all on the same page.
Got to find a shooter.
Duffy back out to Scholar, the goalkeeper. Con O'Callaghan is far away from goal. He's looking at his watch again. They've got to make something happen here. Here comes Con O'Callaghan. He looks inside. Niall has made a run inside Kevin Lahiff. They come back. Here comes Keating. He's got 4 so far. Here comes Tracy. Niall O'Callaghan out to go to Michael Conroy, the cornerback, to Duffy. Here comes Scholar. They're going to have to manufacture something here. Here's the opportunity for Kennedy, perhaps. Kennedy with the pass inside. There's 2 of them there. Back outside here to Doran. Doran, it's high. It's in around the goal. Hits the post. Judes win. It's a free out for St. Jude's. The Jude supporters behind that Donny Carney Church goal are celebrating. But there's time still left. And that is the full-time whistle. Oh, there was opportunities there for Cuala coming. There were 2 free inside. And in the end, it wasn't a bad effort, but it was just short.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Marcus, the ball that went into the first pass was a mark opportunity. The referee blew the whistle, but they played on. They played it into the 21. I know they created a scoring opportunity from that. Almost knocked it over the bar, comes back off the upright. Absolute heartbreak for Cuala. It has to be said that they probably did deserve maybe a bit of extra time. The flip side of that is Judes really struggled to get into the game owing to the pressure Cuala put on them, but did well to hit those 3 scores in the last 5 minutes, seized them over the line. What a great game, really open, entertaining game of football. Maybe a bit attritional in the second half, but still plenty of excitement, and comes right down to literally the last kick of the game. Judes hang on.
Judes hang on. Well, it was 2-11 to 2-10 when they played each other in June in the league. And here in the championship, in deepest, darkest September, it is 2-11 to St. Jude. It is 2-10 to Cuala. Let's have a look at some of those highlights.
Yeah, Jude's obviously opened the scoring through a free from Dara Rooney. And you know, Cuala had struggled to get into the game, but then bang, within, you know, a minute later, they got a super goal. We spoke about the long kick out coming from Ryan Schollard. Look at the space it created inside. Brilliant spin here off Manning to create the space. Looked like he got the hand pass wrong. Cornerback had cut it out, but popped it down. Watch this for a spin and roofs it into the net. 2-7-1-6. Cuala were in front and remained in front at that stage. Good response again came from Cuala. Rooney did well. Opportunity here. Watch the work on the end line. We had said it was a difficult angle. I think it was on the far side. It was David Sheehy who kept the ball in, or sorry, Connaughton who kept it in play. Managed to spin inside. Picked up then and knocked over the bar by David Sheehy for a score. Not sure he knew what he was doing.
Cultured left, I think you call that, Combe.
Reminded me of one of my own efforts back in the day. Dropped over the bar, was good enough to go on the scoreboard. This guy was brilliant all day. Keating looked up, knocks it over the bar. He was unlucky, or tied it up there with the free we seen late on. Great score, but here's the goal. Line ball, it came from that kicker we spoke about. Manning up the line. Finds Rooney. Rooney comes inside, sees the space across the field. Look at that, 2 foot passes, 50 yards at the covered. Watch Lahiff coming off the shoulder. Bang, only 1 response. An absolute brilliant goal. And that was bang on, 45 minutes. Left it at 2-8 apiece, or 48 minutes, I should say. Cuala did well, they responded. That was the goal chance that wasn't. Unfortunate, hits the wrong side of the net. This guy, Con O'Callaghan, how good was he today? Looks up, keeper pushes it over the bar, but that would put them 1 to the good. From there, though, there was a great response from Judes. Again, look at the kickouts from Flynn. We spoke about them, how he was, you know, so good second half. Another pass up the line to the substitute who came on. Cuts inside, looking for a runner. Comes in the shape of Rooney. Head down, brilliant save from Scarlett, pushes it over the bar. That left it at 2-9 apiece. And then the same man who set up the score, the substitute who came into the game, Alan Connolly, knocks one over, and Jude's lead for the first time. That's 57 minutes on the mark according to my watch. Rooney adds another 2 points to the good. Keating, we spoke about him. Can he put the pressure on, knock it over the bar for a score? He does, and who knew what was going to fall out after that? Spillane, Fitzsimon, they try to get out in front, doesn't, turns, bears down on goal. You're thinking, knock it over the bar, knock it over the bar. Off the underside of the crossbar, still keep the ball in play. Rooney this time picks it up. You're thinking this is the insurance score for sure. Watch the upright, back down. Even at that, Cuala didn't manage to secure it. And then this finish, mayhem. Watch the pass here, he's outside. So is that a mark inside? Referee certainly blew for it. Carries on, ball goes inside. Here's the scoring opportunity. Does it hit the post or upright on the flick off? It's Simons, I think it was, who got in there. No, ball drops into the grateful arms of St. Jude's. Referee blows the whistle. It's them by a point.
It is them by a point. Well, what a game we've had here in Parnell Park. The first of the 2 quarter-finals here this afternoon. A great win for St. Jude's, you'd have to say. Plenty to work on, no doubt. I made it 7 wides, and some of those opportunities that they didn't take, they hit the crossbar, they hit both posts, they hit just about everywhere. But they came through, and that's the most important thing from their point of view. From Cuala, look, they'll definitely look at this and the progress they've made this year and making a quarter-final, but they'll know that there was opportunities there too, where maybe on another day they take them, and it's them that are through to the semi-finals of the go-ahead Dublin Senior Football Championships. But they're not. It's Judes that make it. They will take on, well, we'll see who they'll take on. We've one more game to go, but Crokes are already there. Ballybowden are also there. And we've one more game to go in the quarterfinals this weekend. That's St. Vincent's against Raheny. That's coming at 4 o'clock, and you can watch it here on Dubs TV. But for now, from myself and Coleman, we're off to get a cup of tea. We'll see you at 4.